Hey, what's going on? Scott Taylor with SanDiegoRealestateHunter.com. In this video, I want to break down the 5 real estate trends that I'm personally seeing on the ground and with my clients in San Diego. Did I say that? As I film this in mid-July. If you missed it, I did a previous video on the trends that I'm seeing for the mortgage markets because I'm licensed to do real estate. I'm licensed to do loans, 2 licenses. I do them both, one-stop shop if you are a buyer. So I want to be very, very clear when I do these types of things. Obviously, I'm doing it from my perspective, how I see it. I don't fluff things up. I just call it as I see it. I've been doing real estate, since just after September 11th in 2001. So what is that? Something around 20 years or so. I've been buying, selling real estate. I've been investing. I've been doing mortgages on and off throughout that time. I've been overseas. I've bought and sold real estate in several countries overseas. I've seen markets. I was in San Diego through the last crash. I saw it happen on the ground firsthand. It was obvious it was going to happen because the mortgages switched and buyers couldn't get loans. It was obvious. So I've seen things up and down and crash. I just call it as I see it. You might agree. You might disagree. You might agree with some. You might have your own perspective. That's okay. That's okay. So let's get into my 5 trends that I'm seeing on the ground right now in the San Diego real estate market as I see it. So trend number 1 is we have market uncertainty with everything going on right now. So obviously, let me list a few things. So we know that it's an election year, okay, which happens every 4 years. The 4th year, or every 4 or 8, obviously, but every 4, stuff like this always happens. Go back and look. Go back and look at 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2004 and 2000. Depending on if the powers that be want the same president or a different president determines all the market turmoils, okay? So we know that we're either going to have, so we have the election. We're either going to have Trump for another 4 years or we're going to have somebody else, okay? We know that we have the largest unemployment rates in U.S. history, large unemployment rates in California history, large unemployment rates in San Diego's history. We have COVID-19 and all the horrible things that's happened as far as sickness and deaths and all the different things, depending on your own personal beliefs. I know that's a link to COVID-19, but obviously it's also led to major shutdowns. Essentially, the economy in California, San Diego, they're shutting down a huge portion of it, putting it, opening it, closing it, opening it, closing it. What's next week, next month going to bring, right? Now, for the first time that I remember, maybe it's happened before, I don't know, but for the first time, and let's just say a long, long time, now we also have schools that will be closing at least for a, first semester until after January. So trend number 1 is just the overall market uncertainties right now. So trend number 2, let's talk about the lowest San Diego inventory, real estate inventory on record. Obviously, except for way back when there was only 3,000 people in San Diego, but let's just say for a long, long period of time. So obviously I was in San Diego from that 2001 to 2007. I saw on the ground with myself, my clients, I did a lot of investing at that point. We saw that huge push. And, they're saying the housing peak as far as numbers of homes was 2007 or 8 or 9 or whatever they want to say it is, something around 30,000 homes for sale at that time. So there's a lot more homes for sale and a lot more people buying and selling homes because they could get access to state income, state asset loans where, they could make $1,000 a month doing pool service to say that they're making $10,000 a month as a pool entrepreneur. So that's how that worked. Today, we have something, as I film this, again, mid-July, something around 4,000 homes, townhomes, condos, and multifamily for sale in San Diego County. Now, don't forget, San Diego County has 3.5 million people, okay? Most people who's born and raised in San Diego like I am or from San Diego, when we think of San Diego, we think of all San Diego County. Yeah, but a lot of records just show like the city of San Diego as San Diego. I know it's a little thing, but not really if they want to say, hey, San Diego has 1.5 or 6 million people. Actually, the county is 3.5 million, and most people believe Carlsbad or Oceanside is part of San Diego. And look below this video for show notes and links. But we see from the June indicators, because I'm filming mid-July, so June, the inventory in June of this year was down 45%. So inventory was down 45% from a year before. A year before is incredibly low, right? Do we keep getting lower and lower and lower to at what point? I don't know. The housing supply, again, below this, shows that homes priced between 1.25, so 1.25 up to 2 million. So 1.25 up to 2 million had the strongest pending sales. So that's the market that's really hot, the 1.25 to $2 million market. And then, of course, because of these homes, but the homes that had between 4,000 to 6,000 square feet are the hot ones. So we're seeing a lower inventory overall, 45% down year over year, right, for January. We're seeing that the strongest pending sales are in that 1.25 to 2 million category. So if you're in that category, definitely talk to me. Let's get some offers in because it's a very, very hot market. It's a very aggressive market, and it's in between that 4,000 to 6,000 square feet is where people are buying. So let's go on to trend number 3. So due to COVID, due to lockdowns, due to the record unemployment, right, seeing trend number 1, banks are allowing homeowners not to make payments. So this is very, very big because obviously when we hear unemployment, we think of, okay, housing has to crash because people can't make payments, so they have to foreclose on, right? That's the old standard. They threw something fun in this time. They said, hey, guess what? You might not have a job, but you don't have to make your payments. So it's keeping people that are homeowners in their homes longer. So let's just say that they're unemployed or they're in between jobs or they're locked down or however we're going to phrase what's going on in their own personal lives. They're saying, okay, cool. I can live in the house. Maybe I want to move, maybe I don't, but I can stay in the house and not make a payment. I couldn't get a new mortgage anyways because I couldn't be approved for one. So I'm going to be staying in my home. So clearly another thing that's leading to record low inventory is if somebody's a homeowner, they have to look at that and say, well, if I can stay in my home for the next 6 months or 9 months or 12 months or whatever it is that they've worked out with the lender and not make payments until I figure out my situation, then clearly that's leading to lower inventories as well. So trend number 4, I do real estate, I do loans, 2 licenses, so I know the mortgage market's extremely, extremely well. Record low mortgage rates, again, below this video. There's a link for a chart. If it's not the lowest rates in history, there's certainly some of the lowest rates in history. Now, I know everybody always wants to argue and fight about rates. It's really irrelevant. We're talking about 1/8 of a point or a quarter of a point, but people like to argue about it. But something very, very interesting, because I always hear these phrases where people like, prices could never go higher, or when they were going down. Prices could never go lower, or for interest rates, right? Rates could never go up, or rates could never go down. It's very, very funny. But something very interesting to kind of keep in your mind. So if we're just talking about principal and interest on a home, okay, so just principal interest, I get it, there's property taxes, there's insurance, but let's just talk about principal and interest. If you have a $300,000 house at 6% interest, the principal and interest is $1,800. If you have a $600,000 house at 3% interest, it's $1,800 a month principal and interest. You see how that works? You can have a $300,000 house at 6%. Then it can easily go up in value, double in value, if you cut the rate in half, right? You see how that works? So it's very easy to manipulate things based off of the interest rates. So when people now, right, we can't foresee the future, but when people now are saying, well, it has to crash because home prices now are higher than they've ever been. Well, sure, but rates were higher then. Rates are lower now, so of course prices can go up because it depends on what someone can afford every month if they have a mortgage payment. Something interesting, something to kind of keep in mind, because people are saying, well, if rates right now, I'm making up a number, are 3.5% or 3%, prices could never. Guess what? What if they dropped in half again? Trend number 5. So we know right now, mid-July, it's summer. Traditionally in all markets, especially, or in San Diego, let's talk about San Diego, we know it's some of the lowest inventories are during summer. Why? It's common sense. Kids are out of school. So if kids are out of school, right, and people kind of do that May 1st to August 1st or May 15th to August 15th or however you want to phrase it, essentially almost, or, school gets out maybe in mid-June, but people start planning in May or however I always think of it as after tax time on through basically the end of August, and taxes got pushed back. So we have a very interesting scenario right now where in San Diego, the school year is going to start, but kids don't have to physically be back in school. So will the summer rush last longer and therefore have less inventory of homes? Will people, towards the end of August again, because kids are being homeschooled or whatever our kids are going to do as far as school, will things change? So another trend that we're seeing is with no kids in school, will the summer be longer or shorter? I think it'll be a little bit longer, especially since the weather is better here. And let's do a bonus. Let's do trend number 6. And I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but this is something that's huge, is the elections. So I don't know how many days, mid-July, so August, September, October, mid-November, they're the 8th or 9th or whatever it is, there's going to be mail-in ballots. They're already saying it's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks, probably after the fact, to count all the ballots, just like, Bush Gore in 2000. And again, I'm not saying, I'm not going this way or this way. That's irrelevant in the conversation I'm having right now. But with the elections, fewer people will be selling during the elections, which is keeping the inventory down. Like you see this trend here, keeping the inventory down. If someone's in San Diego and they want to stay in San Diego and they're going to sell, what do? They first probably look to see, hey, if I sell this and I get my numbers, okay, here's how much I'm going to make. I need to be able to buy something. Is there anything out in the market that I like? And if there's not, then they don't put it up to sell, right? Or they wait and see what happens, or all those different things. Clearly, if someone's leaving San Diego, they don't mind, or some other scenarios, or buying up or something. But if they don't see something that they really want, then they don't put on the market. And there's no doubt with the elections going to be lasting a long period of time too, and then going in through the end of the year, that's going to have a trend of lower inventory. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, look below the video. There's show notes. There's links. If you can search for real estate, obviously, you can apply online in 15 minutes or less down below. Go to my main website of SanDiegoRealEstateHunter.com, or go to ScottSloanApp.com, and apply for a mortgage loan in 15 minutes or less. Anytime you want to talk, shoot me a call, email, or text, and I look forward to chatting with you sometime soon.